In the bustling city of Lagos, nestled between high-rise buildings and busy streets, lived a young woman named Amara. She was talented, kind-hearted, and full of dreams, but she harbored a secret, an immense fear that held her back from pursuing her true potential. Amara had always wanted to be a successful entrepreneur. She dreamed of opening her own fashion boutique, a place where she could showcase her unique designs and share her passion with the world. However, every time she thought about taking the first step, a mountain of self-doubt would rise before her, towering over her dreams and leaving her paralyzed with fear. The mountain of self-doubt was a formidable barrier. It whispered that she wasn't good enough, that she would fail, and that her dreams were too big to achieve. These thoughts clouded her mind, making her hesitate and second-guess every decision. She often found herself stuck in a cycle of planning and replanning, but never taking action. One sunny afternoon, as Amara walked through the city park, she saw an old man sitting on a bench, sketching something in his notebook. He seemed serene and focused, a stark contrast to Amara's troubled state. Curious, Amara approached him. "Excuse me," she said gently, "what are you drawing?" The old man looked up with a warm smile. "I'm drawing the mountain," he replied. Amara was puzzled. "The mountain? What mountain?" He gestured to a small, quaint hill in the distance, barely noticeable among the city's tall structures. "That's the mountain of self-doubt," he explained. "I've climbed it many times in my life. Each time, it felt insurmountable, but I always learned something valuable along the way." Amara was intrigued. "But how did you overcome it?" The old man chuckled softly. "It's not about defeating the mountain. It's about understanding it and learning to navigate its paths. Let me tell you a story." He began recounting a tale of his youth, when he was an aspiring artist plagued by fear and uncertainty. He, too, had a mountain of self-doubt that loomed large in his life. But through persistence and small, steady steps, he learned to manage his fears. He focused on the journey rather than the daunting peak. "One step at a time," he said, "and the mountain becomes less intimidating. Each small victory builds confidence and dispels the doubt." Inspired by the old man's story, Amara decided to take action. She started with small, manageable tasks. She researched the fashion industry, created a simple business plan, and began working on her designs in her spare time. Each step she took was like carving a path up the mountain, and with each step, her self-doubt began to wane. Amara faced setbacks along the way, rejections, mistakes, and moments of fear, but she persisted. She learned to embrace these challenges as part of her journey, understanding that they were not barriers, but opportunities for growth. As time passed, the mountain of self-doubt began to shrink in her mind. The more she worked on her dreams, the more she realized that her fears were not as insurmountable as she had once thought. The mountain became a distant memory, a reminder of her journey rather than an obstacle. One day, Amara opened the doors of her fashion boutique, a beautiful space filled with her designs and dreams. The grand opening was a success, and the joy she felt was indescribable. She had climbed her mountain, not by defeating it, but by navigating its paths with courage and perseverance. As Amara looked back, she realized that the mountain of self-doubt was not just a challenge, but a teacher. It had taught her the value of self-belief, persistence, and the importance of taking one step at a time. Amara stands proudly in her boutique, surrounded by her designs and satisfied customers. The mountain she once conquered. Remember, the mountain of self-doubt may seem daunting, but it's not the size of the mountain that matters. It's your determination to climb it. Embrace your fears, take small steps, and believe in yourself. The journey will lead you to places you never thought possible.